So hey, what's up, Agent President here, and welcome back another excited Element 3D tutorial. So I'm the guy who make Element 3D related stuff on YouTube, and if you search my channel you will find a lot of Element 3D related stuff. So without more delay, let me show you what we are going to create today. So this is the preview. Alright, so recently I am making few of the tracking stuff and match moving and something like futuristic, and totally I made all these things inside Element 3D and After Effects. And my main inspiration for the tutorial or the work is the guy called Edward and here is his channel. He made these types of awesome related stuff. So I'm going to reveal how you can create these types of work inside After Effects and Element 3D. So let's get started. Alright, so here we are inside After Effects, and let me open the footage. So make sure when you are shooting, so I basically downloaded a tracking markers wallpaper and I just open it on my phone so I can track it properly without any error, and make it in a new comp and just select the area which you wanna work. So I'm going to somewhere around here and I'm going to trim comp. So this is the footage which we will work. Now let's pre-compose it. Control C and V. Now this is gonna be our background and this is gonna be our tracking mask. Go inside this footage and just make a rough mask to our phone so we can track this phone without any issue. So I'm going to use pen tool and just draw a few lines. Press M and just click and just add a key on a mask path. Move few frames and make sure this is a none so we can see it correctly. And now let's start adjusting it. I'm going to fast this process and I will meet you in a next step. So here you can see I created a very rough mask which follow my object, and now I will do the object tracking. So this is my main footage comp, so I'm going to rename it to the main comp so we can understand it. Now let's go again here and press M and just make it to the additive. So now we have only the mask area visible. Now let's apply 3D camera track effect and let it do their work. So the tracking finished. Now you can see you have some points to work with, and this is 3D. So let me come here and let's make some thing like select. I'm going to select few frames, few keys or few track point, and I'll make the ground plane and origin and click create shadow and solid and camera. So now we have a camera and a solid which is tracked on the surface of phone. So now I'm apply a grid so I can see it. Now scale it and see this. Let me enable this. So now you can see this is tracked on the surface of phone and it's good. And if you think this is not aligned correctly, you can just make it. Now let's check it. I am happy with the tracking. So all good. Press P and here you can see the positions is very good for me. So now I create a new solid and press Element 3D, and now we can load the 3D object in our scene. So I am going to apply element, go to the scene setup, and now here if I make a box and hit OK, so now you can see this is here. So I'm going to group one particle replicator and make the position 0 by 0, so it will middle, and now we can increase the size, and now you can see. Let me down it to halfway so we can move faster. So it basically tracked on the phone. Now the next step is making them in a right size. So how you can think what is good or what is the correct size of your objects? So for me, I searched on Google. This is a phone which I use for this video, and this is a specification of the phone. So I can go any of the sites and I can check the dimension of the phone. So this is the dimension you can see, and this is in mm, and you can convert it to the inch, and you can model a 3D object and you can apply, you can bring out that here and you can start work. So I already did it with Cinema 4D, and you can download a 3D model as well as. So this is I model in Cinema 4D, and if I click here and go to the draw back faces, so now I have an object on the same size of my phone, and this is just a very rough basic object. You can make it in any 3D program, like if you have a Blender which is completely free, you can go with that. Now let's hit OK and see, and here you can see this is not in a correct size. So let me switch back to the default size is 10, so I can increase the size from here, or let's put it 10, and here is the option called create group null. So I can create a group null, and now I can scale it, I can rotate it which direction I want, and I can even move it. So I'm going to do it. So now you can see I have a phone model, and which is properly tracked and looking good for me, and I'm happy. And if you think you wanna increase, you can increase it. save it. So now the next part is making elements and object. So you only need to do, you can put some objects in here. So let me first texture it. So I can go to the Pro Shaders, Metals, and I can apply any metal, but in this case I'm going to apply a plastic material and hide the grid and select the material and make sure the drop back face is on, and you can load a environment which is similar of your current video environment. The best thing will be you can shoot a HDRI map when you are shooting your camera tracking or video footage. So I'm going to choose this one for now. I can move it or change it further. Hit OK. So little bit good. Control S to save it. And one more thing, you can select the object, go to the UV mapping, and you can little bit correct it. Now I'm going to add few more objects. I can go to the text components and I can load any one. Let's see if I load this one. And hit OK. So now you can see this is perfectly tracked on the phone and it's working very good. Now the next part is make it little bit of more realistic. So go to the render setting and first apply ambient occlusion. You cannot see it because this is very black. These are few of my settings which I do normally. So now I can make a new light which will be our ambient light, and the color should be somewhere around white and orange. I shoot this footage so I know the color. It's basically daytime, so and the sun is outside, so this will be something like this, and I can make a new light again, and this is gonna be our parallel light or spotlight, and intensity I'm going to put 2000, and let me place it here because the light is coming from behind, something like this, and go to the element 3D and go to the shadow and enable it and make sure this is a red shadow. And you can see here this is soft shadow because there is a window which is blocking the light, so you can make this shadow soft by going to the light and change it to the spotlight. And here is a shadow darkness, so I'm going to make it somewhere around 100. And diffusion, make sure this is not set to 0. Make sure this is somewhere around 20, 30, 40 or some whatever, you can experiment it. So cone angle you can increase or decrease. You can set it in a good position so the thing look right. So let me check it how this is coming, then I can correct it. You can see the shadow diffusion. If you want more, you can just diffuse it more like this. So let me put 400 and I will show you how you can fix this noise grain. So go to the Element 3D and here is your ray traced shadow samples. So you can make it 4. 4 is always work. There is some grains but it's a decent amount to go with, and when you are going to render you can put 8 or something around 12. So for now I'm going to 4 and let's check the result. So you can see this looks very good for me now, and there are a lot of ways you can make things and you can do the animation and all that stuff. This is the idea how I made my versions, and if you wanna change the light little bit more orange, you can do it something like this, and you can always change the position, which is good for the scene. So this is good. Now if you wanna make something different, something other, you can do it. And I can just make the symmetry in a Z direction. So you can see. Let's check it. And there are a lot of possibilities can be done if you know the basic technique. So this is the basic technique, and you can just put some more objects and make them animation, give them a animation. Like if I put this in a place of box, let's see what will happen. So now I have a different object, you can see. And you can add few more things, like I'm just make it down little bit like this. And I'm going to add some more components, and I will give it an animation. Like if I will choose this one, and make the auxiliary channel in a 1, so I will give an animation from there. Press Alt and drag it here, so I have a 2 object. Hit OK, and now I can go to the group 1 auxiliary channel 1 rotation, and I can check the rotation. So this is the rotation. So I'll click and add a keyframes and go here, and I can add like 10. So now you can see the animation is going here. One more thing, let's duplicate Element 3D, and this is gonna be a wireframe. Go to the scene setup and just make a new material and apply on this group. Select this, make sure this is draw back faces on, and go to the wireframe and on it. Now you can just down the size, and you can change the fill mode to the lines only, or you can on the solids and change the line color if you wanna a different. Like in this scene I want something around blue, or maybe let's check it first and hit OK. Now I can just come over here and press overlay, or I can change many blending mode and see which fits good. So I think overlay was good, or soft light is also looking good, you can see. And let's duplicate the first one and put in on the top, and this is gonna be our illumination. And go to the scene setup again, and you can check everything is good. Now let's go to the output and change it to the illumination. So now I have only illumination part visible, and now I can add a exposure and make it 1, add a glow, and I can just duplicate it one more time, and make the blending mode to the additive. So this is the idea basically. By the way, you can just go to the lines, press T and down the opacity if you think it's too much. And if you wanna change the line color, so go to the here and apply hue and saturation, and you can change the line color anytime. So change it which looks good. So I'm going with this one. And let's go to the background, or select everything, pre-compose, adjustment layer, apply curves effect, and make sure the motion blur is on all the element 3D layers, and you can make one more adjustment layer and apply exposure. Maybe you can just down the gamma or the exposure. Change the blue color. You can go inside the Element 3D and change the blue color, or you can just apply hue and saturation and change it from here. So I'm going this red color, and this is it, guys. So let's check it, a preview, or you can see this is little bit of blur and this is very sharp. And one more thing guys, go to the every element 3D and go to the output and change the sampling. And if you wanna change something, you can change it. Like this is for color grade, so I can just down it or whatever if you want. I want basically blue and more saturated. You can add many objects like this. So this is the basic idea, and if you wanna increase the shadow intensity, you can go here and make it more darker. But I'm happy with this one, like 200. And the diffusion, let's try to decrease it. So let's check a preview, and this is it guys. By the way, if you wanna download this project file, you can go to my Patreon page and download it. And if you did not subscribe to my channel yet, I will suggest you to subscribe this channel. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can follow me there, because I upload a lot of my experiment there. So if you have any questions, you can ask me there also. So this is it guys. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for loving me. I am NPS3D, and we will see you next time with a great tutorial. This is it for now.